You're listening to the Path to Light radio program, where small stories light up great hopes. Close your eyes, take a deep breath, and let the sound carry you through time. Back to a warm afternoon in central Vietnam, where sea breezes drift through an old window, and a little girl named Lê Quỳnh Chi is hunched over a used calendar page, quietly drawing. Chai wasn't the kind of child who got praised much. From first grade, while her classmates happily drew flowers and triangle roof houses, Chi's drawings were wild swirls of tangled lines, like storms trapped on paper. "What are you drawing, Chi?" "It looks like a mess," her teacher would say. Her mother, a math teacher, would gently brush off eraser dust and sigh, "You're not cut out for art, dear." Those words weren't loud, but they fell into Chi's life like a pebble into a deep well, sending out ripples of doubt that never quite stopped. At night, when the house was quiet, Chi would sneak under her blanket, switch on a flashlight, and build her own tiny art studio. The backs of instant noodle boxes became canvases. A blue pen stood in for paint. Every line she drew whispered something unspoken, stories she didn't dare say aloud in the daylight. She once drew the journey of a seedling struggling through darkness to find light. That first drawing would later be known as the seed's dream. But life has its walls, especially the ones labeled not a good fit. By 9th grade, Chi secretly applied to the province's specialized high school for fine arts. She practiced for 6 months in silence. Night after night, she wore down cheap brushes over sweaty summer evenings. But when the results came back, her name wasn't there. The reason was brief. Style does not fit the traditional requirements. Her art tutor put it more bluntly. "You've got ideas, but your technique is weak. Art isn't just emotion. I don't think you're right for this path." Chai said nothing. She gathered her drawings, sealed them in a plastic bin, and labeled it "Things That Have Passed." 3 years later, in a different city, a quiet calling returned. Chai was now a literature major at a local university, just as her parents hoped. She tutored, studied, and lived like any ordinary student. But one rainy night, while lying awake in a tiny rented room, she felt something stir. She opened that old plastic bin, long buried in the back of her closet. There, still intact, was a note she had written to herself at age 15. "One day, my paintings will hang in a place full of light." Moved, she pulled out a blank page. No brushes, no fancy tools, just a broken lipstick tube. Using it like a crayon, she redrew the seed's dream. Clumsy red strokes streaked across the page. They weren't pretty, but they were honest. It was like seeing the ocean after years away. Her heart cracked open. From that night on, Chi vowed to draw at least 1 hour a day. Pens, chalk, eyeshadow, anything that could leave a mark became her paint. One day, she hesitantly posted a sketch to an online art group. To her surprise, within hours, it racked up over 5,000 likes. One message stood out. From a Vietnamese artist living in Berlin, "You tell stories through images in such a unique way. Don't stop. You've got something special." For the first time, she realized the world is bigger than grades and tests. And maybe, just maybe, there was a place for her art, just as it was. So she studied obsessively. Online courses taught her color theory, abstract forms, modern art history. Each week, she gave herself a theme: the weight of expectation, loneliness in an alley, dreams no one hears. She uploaded her works to Instagram and Behance. Her strange emotional visuals gained a quiet following. One drawing showed a faceless girl in class, surrounded by grinning masks. Another, a broom tightly hugging a pile of vivid colors, afraid to spill them. And another, a pair of incomplete hands reaching for a melting clock. The images confused some, but they moved people. Eventually, a nonprofit art group in the Netherlands invited her to join an online exhibition called Unspoken Stories. It was just a virtual event, but when Chi saw her name beside an international logo, she cried. Her seedling had found sunlight. Still, there was a mountain left to climb. In 2022, Chi made a bold move. She reapplied to university, but this time for modern painting. She didn't hide it from her parents. Her father sighed. Her mother pleaded, "Art doesn't feed you, Chi. Be realistic." Chai just smiled. "I'll try one more time. If I fail, I'll go back to teaching." But she didn't fail. She passed as the top candidate. Her portfolio was a deeply personal collection titled Pieces I Never Named, a visual diary of rejection, self-doubt, and rebirth. The judges were unanimous. Her professor told the class on the first day, "You don't have to draw like anyone else. You just have to draw what no one else has ever seen." Years of quiet resilience bloomed into triumph. By 2024, Chai had completed over 200 works and exhibited in 5 group shows. Every bus fare, every skipped lunch, every borrowed sketchpad became bricks in her path. Then came an email that changed everything. She was selected to represent Vietnam at the Asian Youth Art Exhibition in South Korea, themed Echoes Within. Her featured painting? The Seed's Dream, version 12. This time the seed had broken through the soil. Color spilled across the canvas like sunlight over morning dew. The moment her mother stood in front of that painting, everything shifted. In a hall full of curators and journalists, her mother stood quietly for a long time, then gently took Chi's hand. She whispered through tears, "I was wrong. You were always meant to be an artist." Today, Chi lives in Dalat, surrounded by mist and pine trees. She runs a small studio called Draw Not to Impress. No grades, no critique, just space to create with heart. One student, Min, age 12, came in teary-eyed after classmates mocked his art. Chai encouraged him to draw his fear, his silence, his hope. "Don't try to be beautiful," she said. "No, try to be true." Min's painting, streaked with grays and hints of green, was hung next to Chi's. People didn't always understand it, but they felt it. In an interview, someone asked Chi, "What matters most on your journey?" She replied calmly, "Not talent, persistence. You can learn technique, but only inner conviction helps you survive all the not a good fit comments." She added with a smile, "I'm not sure I'm great, but I know I'm real, and art needs truth more than perfection." As I sit here telling her story over this microphone, I imagine that first drawing, ink swirling in darkness, and now its 12th version glowing under international lights. The distance between those two moments isn't measured in years. It's measured in courage. So if you're listening now, nurturing a dream others laugh at, remember Chi. Each "you're not a good fit" isn't the end. It's just a road sign saying, take another path. As the soft chime of Dalat's church bells ring in the background, I picture Chi, somewhere in her little studio, gently mixing colors by a foggy window. And somewhere else in the world, another seed is trembling beneath the soil, unsure but sensing warmth. Can you hear it? That faint thump? That's the sound of hope. It's reaching through this radio, quietly finding you. This has been Path to Light. I'm just the storyteller. You're the artist of your own life. Until we meet again, keep painting, keep dreaming. There's always a place in the world for what's real.